Good morning. I'm still, in this very second, still debating whether I really want to go with this that I've been thinking about for the past couple of hours, that's since I've been awake. And yes, I do realize the time, but I went to bed at 9:30 last night and woke up at around 1:30. Unbelievable. Anyway, since I received the notification on Saturday from the bank, or I should say the bank's lawyer, trying to reopen the lawsuit that was settled almost a year ago, really. I've been thinking a lot about that because it is a crime against humanity that the banks have been committing, and that's the title, by the way, Crimes Against Humanity. The banks have been committing crimes against us, the people, for a long time. And the legal profession and the governments and the corporations have been going along playing the same sick game of depriving the average citizen in the United States and around the world of our natural God-given rights, our unalienable or unalienable rights. And they're not going to get away with it anymore. I almost want to stop right now because I don't even want to focus on this anymore. I don't even want to put my attention there. And yet, my instructions from Spirit are to respond to whatever's in front of me. And this has been placed in front of me once again. For those of you that may not have listened to previous videos on the subject, I issued my final sovereign judgment in May last year, May the 28th last year. And in April of last year, I filed my UCC-1 documents with the county and with the state of Florida. And they became part of the official record in which I became a secured party creditor, securing my personal property, including my home that I live in, which has no mortgage on it and never did, and including all of my rights granted under the Bill of Rights and the original U.S. Constitution. And I even was a signature, I even signed the Declaration of Independence. And I am a sovereign citizen of humanity, of Earth. Just like I wish everyone was, because we all have that unalienable or unalienable right, regardless of the nation that we live in, regardless of the city, the town, the state, the nation, whatever, regardless of where we are, we have rights. And our rights have been grossly violated by the international bankers and the alliances that they have formed with the legal profession, with the religious institutions, with the governmental institutions, with multinational corporations. And we are waking up. Actually, we have awakened. Humanity has awakened. I have not created a response yet to this voluminous pile of papers filed by the bank trying to prove their point that they have the right to steal my home from me. They've tried this tactic before and failed. They've admitted to the court that they do not have the original note, which is a negotiable instrument. They have asked the court for permission, and apparently some court in Ohio has granted permission for them to use the copy of the original note as if it were an original. They've certified a copy to be, which is what the bank is using in its case. Totally fraudulent. The lawyer that filed the paper has no standing before the court. The bank has no standing before the court. And folks, that is true in every single commercial loan on record. I'm telling you, whether it's a car loan, whether it's a mortgage payment, whether it's a credit card, these are illegal, unlawful documents, even according to the rules. I mean, they've twisted the rules a lot, but they are not valid contracts. There is no contract, and they have no standing before the courts, and the courts that pretend to give the banks and the financial institutions standing are committing a crime against humanity. I wish I didn't have to focus on these things. I truly, truly in my heart wish I did not. But I know I'm not alone in being in the attempt to defraud me. It's attempted robbery. What they are committing is a crime. It is a criminal offense. It's not just a civil offense. The lawsuit is a civil offense. Then they moved it to probate against my wishes. I have not given my consent. I have never given my consent to anything in probate court. What they did is they moved the judge from civil to probate. But from the very beginning, when they first suggested probate in the case, I refused, because the trust that was being challenged by the banker who tried to steal Dr. Mary's assets, the trust was created to avoid probate. And yet the courts continue to try the acts of deception. Folks, they do not have any jurisdiction over free people. None whatsoever. The whole thing is done in the name of the straw man. What is the straw man? It is a legal fiction that was created at the time of your birth, that has the same name as you. In fact, I'll post a link to a video on Facebook, at least. YouTube doesn't allow me to post, for some reason does not allow me to post, at least not in the comments. It does not allow the posting of web addresses, which is insane. But it doesn't. It says error, can't post it. So I've tried to work around it and put spaces in, and then it's no longer a link. They won't let you put links in, and that's another whole subject, and I'm sorry to take the tangent. But anyway, this whole thing with the courts and what they have done to the human population is total insanity. The straw man is a corporation. It's a non-living being. And that's all they have jurisdiction over. They do not have jurisdiction over any natural person. Neither can they do that under British law. And yet the British accredited registry, the bar associations that operate in the United States, Canada, Australia, England, and any place else where the British Commonwealth ever flew its flag, and I'm pretty sure it's the Uniform Commercial Code that's the same regardless. I mean, around the world. This is the deception. This is how they have committed the crime against humanity of stealing people's rights. And it's time, there's no way that I'm going to let them get away with it. I have not prepared my answer, but I will. I will prepare it, and I'll post it on my website, perhaps read it on YouTube. I'm not sure yet. It hasn't been created. But it's time for we, the people, to stand and tell the courts and tell the government and tell the corporations no more. We've had enough. We've had enough. No more consent. We need to stop paying the banks. The banks need to be brought down because that's what's holding up the entire system. We've got to go for the banks. The banks are criminal organizations as they operate. Hear me, though. Hear me, though. I am not telling you nor advocating any type of violence against bankers. Hear me plainly. The bankers are human beings, just like you and me, and they've been deceived as well. Yes, there are some at the very top that know what's going on, but most bankers don't even know what's going on. But the system is corrupted, and yet the system is what has awakened us, and that's a good thing. I've never advocated, nor will I ever advocate, violence against the politicians, against the corporate CEOs or anything. Do they need to pay for their crimes? Yes, in some cases they do. If they're unwilling to own their crimes and admit their error, if they're unwilling to own and take responsibility for what they've done, then they need to be brought to justice. And justice must prevail. And justice will prevail. This is the time of awakening. This is the time of unity consciousness. People are beginning to stand together. So I'm going to apologize to you for the tone and the attitude of this message. It doesn't seem coherent to me as I sit here now and as I've delivered it. I haven't listened to it yet. I don't know what it's going to sound like. I may start a whole new one and throw this one away. I'm not sure. But I want it clear to the institutions and the heads of institutions that the people are not going to take any more bullshit from you as far as stealing our rights, and we're not going to allow you to continue to commit and get away with these crimes against humanity. You cannot steal our rights and you cannot steal our property. And you have committed fraud in your contracts. They are not contracts. They are unlawful documents because you never signed them, and every single one of them with the monetary system as it's been set up has been discharged almost immediately upon completion and signature of the document. The people that you've loaned to are the ones that created the wealth, and that's where all the wealth belongs. It belongs to the people, not to the thieves that have stolen it, and it will be redistributed to the people. We are all millionaires, folks. Every single one of us is a millionaire. And they have stolen our resources and made us pay to live on our own land. And that is a crime against humanity. The taxes are theft because the taxes do not go to support the people. They go to pay the criminals that have created the system. And it is a criminal system. Get it through your heads, folks. It is a criminal system. I'm going to pull the string right now. Namaste. Bless you.